Hello, you wonderful Geminis, and welcome to a reading for you. This is a general energy reading I put together. It's a 9 card spread, but you might have noticed that there's 2 cards sitting at the side here. Now, we were fortunate enough to get a couple of bonus cards pop out the deck as I was shuffling. I would encourage you to read the description about my channel first before you watch this video. It kind of explains a bit about where I am. So just to kind of put you in the picture, this is the first general reading I've done for YouTube, and I do apologise about the view you've got. I appreciate it's maybe not the best, but you know, we're working with it just now, and as time goes on, if I feel this is working, then I'll be a bit more professional about it. And also, I hope you can see the cards okay. So if you have taken the time to read the description of my channel, you might know that I've just recently started doing tarot readings, and I have to put my hands up and say I'm not an expert yet at the cards. I don't know every single card inside out, so I have made some notes at the side, so I do apologise for the unprofessional nature of having to check them, but I do certainly hope that something resonates with you out there. And obviously, as it's your birthday times, I would also like to wish you all a very happy birthday and love and blessings. But let me get on with the reading here as I see it. So obviously the cards are facing me that I'm reading. So what I'm going to do is read the cards that are out in the reading first, and then we'll get the 2 cards that jumped out during the shuffling process. We'll come to them after. It just seems to be the way I've been guided to do this. Sometimes when I've done personal readings for people, I'm guided to look at the cards that have jumped first, but I think on this occasion I'm being more guided to just read the cards across. So what have we got in front of us then? We've got the 6 of Swords, which is this card here. Let me just turn it around so you can see it. Oh, incidentally, actually, in case you wonder what deck I'm using, it's the Marseille Tarot deck. Obviously it's slightly different from the traditional Rider-Waite style decks, and the imagery is slightly different. A lot of the meanings are very similar though. I'm sure somebody out there might want to correct me, but from what I can see, a lot of the meanings are very similar. So we'll start off with the 6 of Swords card then. Okay. Now this card is a card of travel over water. It can also be a card of emigration. So if there's some of you lucky Geminis out there looking to emigrate to warmer climates, good on you, and certainly all the best for that. It can also symbolise steering away from stormy waters into a more calmer situation. So in real life, you've maybe been through a bit of a rough time, and now things are starting to even out for you now as we go on. Just a point, that tends to be with general readings, my belief and understanding of a general reading, of general energy readings around a sign, is energies last anywhere for up to 6 to 8 weeks. I do feel also though that there's a lot of the energies that you might think, well, something, no, that just really doesn't strike a chord, or I dealt with that about 10 years ago, but you can be surprised how things come around in cycles. I mean, just look at fashion, for example. So, yeah, you just never know what you could be having to sort of relive throughout the course of the next 6 to 8 weeks. So yeah, sorry, I've got off sidetracked there. So we talked about the 6 of Swords being a card of emigration, travel, and obviously maybe coming into a calmer situation. The next card in the row there is the Emperor card. Now he's a fantastic character. What a great character to have in your reading. This is a man of power, and he's also like a man of real strength as well. He's also a really good person that can aid you. So I don't know if there's any of you Geminis out there that are, I don't know, maybe needing that little bit of strength, and there's maybe this character who comes into your sphere, who is there to really aid you. And I would encourage you though, if you trust this person or think this person could be good for you, to certainly use this person to the best of their abilities, because they're going to be really good for you. Next card here is the Page of Wands. Sorry, I meant to show you the Emperor. I do apologise. I'm new to this. There we are. That's him there in all his glory, on a throne. The next card we've got in the line here is the Page of Wands. Page of Batons, Page of Rods, whatever you prefer to call it. There's many different ways of describing it. Pages by nature are message bringers. The Page of Wands is a good message bringer. You know, this is someone who is faithful and tends to bring, you know, really bearing good messages. So it's a really positive card to have. It can also denote a character as well, I suppose. You know, the wands being like a fire sign. So there's always that possibility there that there's maybe someone coming to your sphere that's a fire sign who's maybe presented you with an offer of some description. You know, it could even be describing that, you know, there's someone has come in that's going to be an aid to you, and you know, the message bringer, it could well be this fire sign here. Okay, the next card we've got is another page. This page isn't my particular favourite, but it's a page nonetheless, a message bringer nonetheless. The page tends to be someone maybe a bit younger, a bit more immature. Page of Swords, a bit more immature. Excuse me. Can talk about, you know, like spying and things like that. You know, or maybe someone that wants to sort of delve into your secrets a bit. So it can sometimes be a character to watch out for as well. Next card in the reading here is we've got the Eight of Swords. Now, the Eight of Swords is a card of, you know, bad news, unfortunately, crisis, potentially, and it can also mean you're feeling hoodwinked. I mean, in most cases, with the Eight of Swords, I mean, there's a lot of the feelings that I have around about the Swords cards is they can be quite, you know, more emotional or more sort of in your mind as opposed to actually physical. And the original imagery for the Eight of Swords in the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, it's got a person who's bound in like an encirclement of 8 swords, but you know, the bounds that the person's in is very loose, and I think it's just a case of it's this imaginary fear. And if you shake off these shackles, these ropes, you'll be able to get the blindfold off and be able to see that you're not actually trapped after all. And you can easily escape through the swords, maybe even take a couple of the swords with you. You know, if it's a situation like that, you know. I always like to think of that as maybe like a lesson card. It's like something's happened, it's made you feel a bit trapped, but you're trapping yourself in your own mind. And you take a couple of swords, which are the lessons. Take the lessons from that situation and go forward. You know, don't look back. The next card we have in the in the deck is the Magician card. Now, the Magician card, there's a lot of mixed views on the Magician card. I actually quite like the Magician card. I always feel that the Magician card, you have got to be careful though, because it says that you have I always believe it says that you have the ability now to manifest something for yourself. You have this ability to, you know, create what you want. But I think it's a warning as well, is to be careful what you create. You know, you've got all the tools there on the table, all the tools on the table there to make what you want. You've got the abilities to make what you want. But I think it's just be careful to make sure you don't bring in what you don't actually need or want. Because sometimes it's all too easy to get caught up in the, oh, this is what I really want, I really wish for this, and you wish hard for it, and when you get it, you're thinking, well, actually that maybe wasn't quite what I wanted. Again, the Magician can be a card of sort of sickness and loss as well, but I never like to think of the Magician as a sickness or loss card, to be honest. I always like to think of it as a, you know, a manifesting, a really powerful card, of giving you the power. You know, and we've got a couple of strength cards in here as well, which do kind of relate to it. Just on that, actually, out of the 9 cards, obviously excluding the 2 that popped out to say hello, in the 9 cards, we've actually got 4 major arcanas in here. We've got the Emperor, the Strength card, the Chariot, and the Magician. Now, what's the importance of a major arcana? A major arcana is there's more weight behind it. It means that, you know, this is likely to happen. This is a strong energy for you. So you know, they can be good, and you know, to be honest with you, I'm not seeing any negative major arcana, so that's always a really positive thing, Gemini. And you know, I'm really fond of Geminis as well, so I'm glad to see that we're getting some, you know, quite positive reading from this this reading, especially from my first one out. So the next card I sort of hinted at it there is the Strength card. Now the Strength card is the card of Leo. This typifies Leo, without a doubt. It's the card of strength and power, energy, and yeah, really strong card. Really good card for sort of female empowerment. So for any of you females out there, I suppose it could be men as well. You know, I'm not going to be sexist. There could be men out there as well that are maybe feeling really empowered just now as well, and can drive on. And why not? It's your birthday month. Yeah, you know, you're on top of the world. It's your birthday. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're a year older. That's irrelevant. Sorry to remind you of that, people. Okay, okay. The next card we've got in here is the Eight of Wands. Now, I always look at the Eight of Wands, Eight of Batons, Eight of Rods. I always look at the Eight of Wands as being a card of swift action or something quickly coming in. Do you know, it just you know, the original imagery for the Rider-Waite tarot has got the 8 arrows flying through the sky, and that's always what I see when I see this card. It's like something's going to happen quickly. This is going to take place rather quickly. So no, and again, I believe that with the cards surrounding it, it's all very positive. Our only one concern here is the Eight of Swords, but you know, and like I said, in most cases it's imaginary, and hopefully that you actually realise that if you are bound to this trap that you're in, this trap of your own doing, that you'll swiftly get out of it. I know you can't keep a Gemini down. There's no way you can keep a Gemini down. They bounce back and they go for what they believe in, and yeah, good for you, good for you. So the last card that came out in the actual main reading was the Chariot. Chariot's a card of victory, a card of movement, which is quite interesting actually, because you've got the two cards here that speak of movement. You've got the Six of Swords and the Chariot there, which talk about, you know, travel or journeying or movement away from something. So there maybe is quite a poignant message. It seems to have doubled up there, which is good, and especially when it's backed up with a major arcana. So it maybe does mean that there's a situation you're moving away from. You know, maybe, you know, even if I look at the reading down here, we've got the Six of Swords, which is, you know, the journey over water or the movement. You've got, you know, feeling a bit kind of hoodwinked or trapped in it, but it's kind of imaginary. And then you realise, no, I've actually reached my victory. I've actually reached my destination. I'm getting, you know, this is what I needed to do, which is a really positive card. I mean, there's so many different stories and that you can bring out from a reading, especially when it's general as well. It's very difficult to, you know, put stories in there, because you could come up with dozens of stories which would resonate, not resonate, be close to the mark, or so far off the mark it's like flying to Glasgow Airport and landing in Lisbon Airport. You know, it's one of those. So, you know, it's very difficult to do this in a general reading, but it hopefully gives you an idea of the energies that are around for you, Gemini, and you know, it's all looking very positive. I mean, if I was to throw a story together, you know, looking at the top line here, I would say that, you know, you're moving away from calmer waters. Perhaps this gentleman's coming, or this person, this figure, doesn't need to be a gentleman. We can take the sexes away from the cards. That's not a problem, because this person's coming now and they're here to aid you. And then, you know, at the back of it, this offer comes in as well. This really great offer for you because of the help that you've received from this character. It's all really positive. The second line down there, we see another story. You know, you've got the Page of Swords, who is maybe someone slightly immature, is maybe spying on you, maybe being a wee bit troublesome, which it can be, which is leading you to feel a little bit bound in, you know, in your mind about something, feeling trapped about something. But then you realise, no, I've got the power to change this. I've got all the tools I need. I don't need this crappy page. You know, I don't need this person bringing me their rubbish. You know, that's what it's all about, Gemini. It's being yourselves, being strong that you are. And there we go, talking about strong. I wasn't even looking at the card. Strength card. It comes in quickly. So the strength helps you bring the situation quickly. You can move away from. You can move away from whatever the situation is. So really, really positive reading there. The two cards that jumped out here. So we've got the Four of Swords. I'll start with the Four of Swords. Okay, the Four of Swords is a card of retreat, solitude. It can just be, I mean, a card of rest. I mean, if you're looking at a relationship, although I'm not really seeing necessarily anything to do with relationship, it's not singing of relationships to me. But if I just give you an example in a relationship, it's when you maybe take a wee bit of a time out, a little bit of a rest from each other. It's not necessarily a split, but it's just like, look, you know what, I think for a couple of weeks we should maybe go and see our own friends or something like that, and or you should go and sleep on the couch or out in the doghouse, whatever suits, that sort of idea. But again, I don't always feel that the Four of Swords is really anything to worry about. It might be signifying that you need to take a rest. Maybe you've been partying too hard with it being your birthday. You've maybe just been really, really jolly and going for it. So yeah, just be aware that there's maybe like need for rest soon. It can also, I suppose that the Four of Swords as well does talk about, the need to be vigilant. And, I suppose when you've got this situation here where you've got someone coming in who's bringing messages or, trying to spy or whatever, it's to be vigilant about them, Just watch. Geminis are intelligent. You know fine well what's going on. Just watch them. Don't let yourself be the Eight of Swords. You manifest what you want, but make sure it's what you want. Make sure it's what you need. That's you being told, okay? The next card that came out as a bonus is the Five of Coins. Now, the Five of Coins does warn you of potential money troubles coming up. It might not be your money troubles, it might be someone that you know, someone close to you in your sphere, might be coming into money troubles. Now, I always like to read this card in its Rider-Waite style, where the imagery on that really tells a story. It's the image of a person outside in the cold winter time. Obviously the imagery gives you an idea of them being poor, or not very well off, or maybe down on their luck. But what they don't realise is that they're not really as bad off as they think, because if they just look up in that image, they're down there, and above them is the church, or beside them is the church, and if they just look up, they'll see it's a church, and they'll have somewhere to go. They'll have that place of solitude. So, do you know what? Rest and seek solitude. Salvation, beg your pardon. A bit of rest and seek salvation. If you're feeling at all worn out by this situation of the Eight of Swords, the message is rest, seek the salvation, manifest what you want, get your victory. I would really like to thank you all for taking the time to watch the video today, Gemini. It's a real pleasure for your wonderful sign, your lovely people, to be the first people to have received a general reading from me. I would love to hear your feedback. Obviously, please go gentle on me. This is the first time I've done a general reading. I'm just learning. I've only been reading cards now for a couple of months, so I'm not an expert. I've never claimed to be, and I'm certainly not trying to steal anyone's thunder here. But if you feel it's resonated with you, I would really love to hear your feedback. Thank you very much. Love and blessings.